On this episode of Deleted WrestleZone, we're going to review AEW Dynamite with the greatest surprises that took place. And of course, we're going to talk about the G1 Climax that's taking place this year. So all of that's coming up on Deleted WrestleZone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted WrestleZone. All things pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance known as NWA, and many promotions, wrestlers, and championships. I'm your host, J-Rod. So this week's Dynamite has been one hell of a ride. Now, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, this time the viewership on this one went higher than it never expected almost a year ago. As you all know, AEW Dynamite has been beating on various occasions on the viewerships against NXT, but this week is no exception. Reason is, we had a surprise wrestler we haven't seen for quite some time, and of course all of that. The viewership that got to this is 1.1 million views. This is the highest they've ever gone for a long time. So what does this mean for AEW? Does it mean they're here to stay? The answer to that, it's possibility they are, since they have their extended contract all the way to 2023. So right now, let's review from top to bottom, all the way from start to finish, with AEW Dynamite. As you know, Tony Schiavone started out with waiting outside after the fallout of All Out. Here comes Jericho and MJF. They both were complimenting on each other how Jericho was saying to MJF that he felt that he was robbed, that should not have happened, that one day he will become AEW World Championship. MJF actually did the same thing about him, how he thought it was disgusting that he had to go through that, losing to a guy who only put his hands inside his pockets. And he said that he will regain the AEW World title. As soon as they both left, they all said that they both said the same thing. What a loser. So basically, they don't like each other, regardless if they agree of hating on an individual that we know of. Now, the first match of the night was the Jurassic Express, consistent of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, alongside with Marco Stunt, facing off the Lucha Brothers. On their corner, they had the Butcher and the Blade and Eddie Kingston. This is one of those matches that kind of brought a lot of surprises, but some good spots. But the one thing that shocked was the ending. Pentagon accidentally hit his move on his brother Ray Phoenix, and of course allowing for Jungle Boy to pick up the victory. And it became more of a between Penta and Phoenix, like they can't believe they lost to a couple of guys who they think they're not worthy for anything. But Eddie Kingston, who's been playing not only as the leader, but also playing as the advocate, advisor, all that. So he was able to maintain peace. So this means that the Jungle Express are now taking things seriously, since we all know that the tag team division has been making a very high priority ever since they first started. So I like the match, how it went down. Next thing we see is Jake Roberts and Lance Archer. We all know now, since All Out, Lance Archer is the winner of the Casino Battle Royale, where he will face in a future opportunity against Jon Moxley. So if you guys don't know this, it's not the first time they face, but they cannot mention that because that took place in New Japan. So they basically, Lance Archer with the IWGP United States Champion until Jon Moxley regained that title from him. I think it took place before Wrestle Kingdom. But now this is a different new story where Lance Archer will try to get his hands on the AEW World title away from Moxley. So we just got to wait and see where they're going to go. Next thing we see is the statement between with Matt Hardy. As you all know what happened this past pay-per-view on All Out. Matt Hardy had a nasty fall, and there's been this whole controversy buzzed all over social media. As you know, Rebecca, or we call her Rebby by Matt Hardy, she began starting now a feud with Tony Khan. So now it's confirmed that on Twitter that Rebby and Tony Khan are in a fight. So basically, but Matt Hardy did stated that he's okay, he's fine, but his top priority at this point is to get healthy. That he knows that he has a lot to look for. So he said once he's healthy that he's going to make the straight narrow to obtain the AEW World Title, which is something that we all feel he should go after. We know he's been a champion before, but with AEW, I think this is going to be a great opportunity for him. So even Private Party are right there for him. Even though he coached them, they're right there for him when they needed him. So even Rebby was there along with their son, their youngest, but not the other two. They're still at home. But it's great to see Matt that he's okay. But right now, as we all know, your health is the number one priority at this point. So it's great to see him. Now the next match we have is Angelico along with his hybrid 2-member tag team partner Jack Evans facing off against freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. Now this is a different side of Orange Cassidy we never seen. As you know, Orange Cassidy normally takes things slow, but now he's been going in a little bit faster pace in this match. So basically his match with Jericho has somehow light a fire into him, which was good. But of course it ended with Orange Cassidy giving Angelico the Superman punch. Now as soon as he won the match, he was viciously attacked by Santana and Ortiz. No doubt orders by Jericho, but out of nowhere, here comes the Best Friends to give him backup. But they did stated no more apologies, no more of this. If they want a straight fight, they're going to do this in a street fight. So it's now confirmed at AEW that the Best Friends will face in a parking lot street fight against Santana and Ortiz, which is going to be amazing. So that's next week. Next thing we have is an interview. Alex Marquez was trying to get an interview with the Young Bucks. But as you know, the Young Bucks are not in a good mood ever since Hangman Page cost them the gauntlet match where they could have got an opportunity for the AEW World Tag Team titles. So all of a sudden, while Alex Marquez was trying to get an interview, instead of an interview, he got a super kick. And it's later confirmed that both Bucks are been fined $5,000 each for what they did. But Excalibur did made a valid observation that this is not the first time that the Bucks have done something like this before. If you guys don't follow the Bucks, they've done this before in Ring of Honor and possibly on their YouTube channel everywhere. But we can't wait to see how this is going to play out. Now, the next thing we see is Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford. They're trying to announce who is the best man at their wedding. At first, there was this overweight guy. I don't know who this guy is. So, all of a sudden, we see this guy claims that he's the best man. And here comes Brian Pillman Jr. But the biggest surprise, who the best man was the biggest shocker of them all. We're talking about Miro, formerly known as Rusev Day. Yes, Miro showed up. That is the biggest shocker of them all. Now, for all of you WWE fans are saying, but why? Why did he go to AEW? Well, come on, guys. We all know he's a popular dude. We all know what he did for WWE. There's no doubt. But he should have gotten the bigger push back then. But it didn't happen. For all you WWE fans watching, you should know this right about now. He should have gotten a bigger push. You should have told that to Vince, but no, he didn't. But now it seems Rusev is back going by his real name, Miro. So it later has been confirmed. Not only is the best man for Kip Sabian's wedding, but he's also all elite. So that means he's officially with AEW. And I'm excited. I hope for you guys out there who are fans of Miro are excited. So I can't wait to see more what's going to happen. This is the biggest surprise and greatest news ever that AEW has done for us. And I know many WWE fans are, the many fans who followed him are happy. Next we have is the no DQ match, which was Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss versus the Inner Circle members of Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. Now, this is one of those matches, if you haven't forgotten. Jericho was in a match against Joey Janela, and he was about to brutalize, but Sonny Kiss decided to help out. But don't forget, Sonny Kiss was the one who eliminated Hagar out of the Casino Battle Royale. So this is one of those matches where it went brutalized. They used tables, chairs, trash cans, everything. But Jericho pulled out the fire extinguisher, which was good. Now, but the way the match ended was with Jake Hager applying the signature move on Sonny Kiss, ending him, giving the Inner Circle the victory. Now, as soon as the match was over, Jericho said that they're trying to get back on top, even though Santana Ortiz are dealing with the best friends. He and Hager are now going to make the effort to make the move for the AEW World Tag Team title. So this is going to be interesting to see them jump in. Normally, I would have expected this out of Santana Ortiz, but we'll see how that goes when we get there. Now, next thing we have is MJF. As you all know what happened to MJF, he was cheated out of winning the AEW World title. He fired everyone from his campaign because everything he did not work to obtain the one thing he wanted the most, the title. And of course, he got in the face of Wardlow. He decides to tell him that I'm the one who gives you your paycheck, not AEW. So basically, that's kind of interesting. So we'll see where they're going to go with this. We don't know if MJF is going to continue to pursue for the AEW World title or what. But we do know he's talented. We do know he's good with the mic. So we just got to wait and see on that. Next thing we have is the FTR, skip it. I have John Moxley who's giving a straight up message to Lance Archer. So basically, it's not a surprise. He knows he has bigger challenges. I mean, look, you had MJF who somehow was able to have him sign a contract to ensure he doesn't use the paradigm shift, even though he used it. And now he has a bigger guy. So he's not afraid of a fight, but we'll see how that goes. This is going to be great. Next thing we have is the FTR celebration. As you know, they're claiming now that they are the champions, but at the same time, the true leaders. They had other tag team wrestlers there, but the entire time they were disrespecting them. Starting from SCU, the Jungle Express, Jurassic Express, everyone. But of course, it was Jurassic Express who decided to do something about it. They actually iced FTR show them they're not going to be disrespected. And all this and that. What else? And then we have Absolute Ricky Stark mocking in the image of Darby Allin. So he said that if he ever comes back, he will finish him off. But we'll see where that's going to go. We do know he was hurt at All Out, and hopefully he'll be able to recover from it. Next thing we have is the interview with Kenny Omega. Now, throughout the fallout of what happened All Out, he did stated that right now it was a good run being a tag team champion, but right now he has other plans. His main focus is a singles competitor and, of course, to obtain the AEW World Championship, which is something that many fans, including myself, if you guys know, I'm wearing Kenny's shirt. See? So anyway, we all know that this is one of those moments where he has to now obtain the title, since we do know he has been world champion before. So I can't wait to see that. So that's how it's going to go. So his main focus now is becoming a singles competitor. Next thing we have is the AEW TNT Championship. It's between Dustin Rhodes and Mr. Brody. This is one of those matches that kind of went longer. It did not went 5 minutes like what happened to Cody. But man, Dustin still killed it, no matter what. Every move he pulled out, every new trick that he never did in the past, but he did it now, it was amazing. As for Brody Lee, same thing. This was a great match. But fortunately, the winner turned out to be Mr. Brody Lee. And of course, at the moment of the post match, they brought out QT, who was also laying out. They're, they wiped out those two since they're part of the Nightmare family. So that's how it ended. But once the show was over, it showed what Cody's up to. Basically, he's involved in some show called Go Big Show. Basically, it's something more different. Kind of like American Idol or America's Got Talent type of thing. But that's pretty much what happened. So I hope you guys enjoyed AEW Dynamite, and of course Miro being there, that's going to be one of the best. So let's move on to the G1 Climax. Let's move on right now to New Japan Pro Wrestling's who's going to be participating for the G1 Climax. Alright, so let's talk about the New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax 30. Now, for all of you guys who don't know what this is, what is the G1 Climax 30? Now, I explained this about a year ago, if you guys been following from the very start of this channel. The G1 Climax 30 is an annual tournament that they have 20 wrestlers to compete for a chance of the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. But now they have to compete for the double championship that is being held by Tetsuya Naito. He is not only the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, he's also the IWGP Intercontinental Champion. So basically the winner will get a chance to face Tetsuya Naito. Now, this particular tournament, it's not elimination type. This will take about a month or so. So basically the idea is this. They will have to they do this in a point-based system. Basically, it's like this. Whoever wins the match will gain 2 points, but the loser will receive 0 points. Now, if they're unable to beat anybody, it doesn't matter who it is, if it ends up in a time limit draw, each will receive a point. So how much points you get, it will get you into the advanced stages of the semifinals, one step closer to get a contract to the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, or in this case, the Double Championship, or so. Now, the idea how this goes, like I said, 20 wrestlers are being picked. What they do is, they'll put 10 wrestlers in one block, which is Block A, and then we got wrestlers in Block, 20 wrestlers in Block B. Now, this is how it goes. One day they'll use, they'll start out with the A blockers doing their annual tournaments. But what happens with the B blockers? Well, that's simple. Whatever factions the B blockers are in, they'll use a junior heavyweight contender to be in a tag team match. More like a preview of what they're going to do. Now, I have witnessed at least 2 or 3 of the G1 Climax events. Basically, you probably asked me, what does the G1 stands for? Well, it stands for Grade 1, which is their version of saying it's the Heavyweight Contenders Division. So basically, that's what they do. There's many tournaments that they normally do when it comes to the divisions between heavyweights and junior heavyweights. For the junior heavyweights, they have the best of the Super Juniors. So that's basically the same thing. Even in Tag Team League, for the heavyweight division tag team, they have World Tag League, and then there's the Super Junior Tag League for the junior heavyweight divisions. So they do that every year, so much like the New Japan Cup and all that other stuff. But that's how it works. I witnessed last year was who was it that won? Kota Ibushi won, I think it was Kota Ibushi. And the year before that, it was Tanahashi. But this year will be interesting with the wrestlers they picked out. Now, you probably ask yourselves, who would join in each of the blocks? Well, that's going to be an interesting thing to watch. So here's who they have for the A block. We got the Golden Star, Kota Ibushi. Jeff Cobb. The Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. The Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii. The Aerial Assassin, Will Ospreay. The Dragon, Shingo Takagi. The King, Minoru Suzuki. Taichi, the Switchblade, Jay White. And of course, the Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi. Now, what do I think about it? I have to say, it's a pretty good stack of wrestlers. Now, who would I think would win it? Well, right now, there's only, who I can say maybe 4. I can say either Kota Ibushi, Kaguchika Okada, maybe Minoru Suzuki, I'm not sure, and Jay White. So I have to say that's who I feel that should win the A block, to get to the finals. Now here's who they got for the B block. They got the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, the Fierce Warrior, Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi, the current champion, Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, Zack Sabre Jr., Kenta, and Evil. Now, for all of you fans out there who are now getting into the whole G1 thing, understanding when they're like, wait a minute, why is the champion there? Why is he involved in the tournament? Isn't that considered a breaking rules? To the answer to that, it doesn't apply here. To them, no. It doesn't apply to them. Reason behind that is this. It's a very interesting dilemma how it works. If somehow the champion was able to win the tournament, he gets to decide who does he want to face at Wrestle Kingdom, which is their version of WrestleMania. So they're fighting for a contract for a right to face the champion at Wrestle Kingdom. And that's how it goes. Now, who do I think is the people who could win? For me, I feel like there's, other than Tetsuya Naito, I see Sanada and Kenta, and maybe Hiroshi Tanahashi. I'm not 100% sure. But I had a couple of friends who told me for the last 4 years they believe this current B block bracket is far more better in the last 4 years. And frankly, I have to agree with that, because it is. And anything goes. Now, this is how it goes with everybody as well. You guys need to understand the G1, how it works. Now, what happens when they win? Like, after they win the contract, what happens? Well, any opponent who was involved in the G1 Climax have the right to fight for the briefcase contract against whoever won the tournament. So the idea is who wins it gets an opportunity for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So basically, let's say Will Ospreay won it, but he was somebody thought it should have been his. Let's say Jay White wants it. So if Jay White wants the contract, he has to face Will Ospreay to obtain it. But Will Ospreay has to defend it to ensure he gets an opportunity to go to Wrestle Kingdom to be a part of the main stage of them all. Now, if you guys are not familiarized with the G1, I suggest you subscribe to New Japan, NJPW World Live on Demand, and it's only like $9.99. It's like 999 yen. I don't know how that is. They normally have these tournaments every year. Watching the G1 is always awesome for me to watch because I've always enjoyed watching these tournaments because they're fun, they're interesting. You may never know who's gonna win. But the one person me and Nico kind of brought out, the one person who could definitely surprise us mostly in this tournament is Toru Yano. Toru Yano is one of those guys that he's a sneaky guy. He will find a way to win. So that's the way I see it with him. So if you guys are not familiarized with the G1 tournament for New Japan Pro Wrestling, I suggest you subscribe to it and you enjoy it. If not, then you guys may have to follow me on this channel. I don't have direct videos for it, but however, you get to see some parts of it. But you may see some parts of it either on their YouTube channel or whoever tries to post it online. However, there is a link that you may have to say, I'll set it up when we get close enough to the G1 tournament, and we'll see from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode with me talking about reviewing AEW Dynamite and talking about the G1, who's going to be participating, and for those who don't know what the G1 is for. So I hope you guys get a clear eye view what it does. But for now, I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, mwah, and have a nice day. Bang.